The woods feel endless, quiet, peaceful. But once you're deep enough, you realize how far you are from safety and how close you might be to something watching. Tonight, I'll share 3 of the most horrifying encounters in the woods, told by those who survived. Turn off the lights and let's begin. The man with no light. I'd been camping alone for years. I liked the silence, the distance from everything, the kind of stillness you only find when you're far away from towns and roads. That night was no different, at least not at first. I'd hiked deep into a national forest and set up camp in a small clearing. My tent was pitched, my fire burned steady, and I ate my dinner under the stars with no sound but the crackle of the flames. By midnight, the fire had dwindled into glowing embers. I crawled into my tent, zipped the flap, and lay back, staring at the nylon roof. The forest outside was silent, almost unnaturally so. And then I heard it. Footsteps. At first I thought it was an animal, but these weren't light, scurrying steps. They were heavy, slow, deliberate. I froze. My breath caught in my throat. I counted them. 1, 2, 3, circling through the leaves. I told myself it could be another camper, but there'd been no cars at the trailhead, no tents on my way in. I knew I was alone, or at least I thought I was. The steps grew closer, crunching through the brush. 10 feet away. Then, maybe 5. I unzipped my tent just an inch, just enough to peek out. My heart hammered so hard, I thought it might echo outside. I expected to see a flashlight beam, the glow of a phone, anything that would tell me it was just another person passing by. But there was nothing, just darkness. Still, the footsteps circled. "Hello," I called out, my voice shaky. Silence. The steps stopped. I sat there in the dark, every nerve screaming. Minutes dragged by like hours. Then, behind me, the crunch came again. Closer, right at the edge of my firelight. Someone was standing there. I didn't sleep a second that night. I sat upright in my tent, with my knife gripped in both hands, staring at the flap, waiting for it to move. When the first light of dawn crept in, I finally stepped outside. The clearing was quiet, empty, but on the ground, all around my tent, were boot prints, circling, over and over, some within just a few feet of where I'd been lying. And then they led back into the trees and vanished. There were no other campsites for miles. Whoever it was had been there only for me, and I never camped alone again. The cabin in the clearing. I was hiking with 2 friends in the Appalachians, a trail none of us had done before. The path wound endlessly through trees until we stumbled into a clearing we hadn't expected. And there it was, a cabin. No trail led to it, no tire tracks, no sign of anyone having been there in years. It just stood alone, hidden in the woods, like it didn't want to be found. We looked at each other. Nobody said it out loud, but we all felt the same thing. Something about it was wrong. Still, curiosity won. The door hung slightly open. We pushed it and stepped inside. The air smelled like mold and old wood. The floor creaked under our boots. Most of the furniture was broken or rotting. But the walls stopped us cold. They were covered in photographs. Dozens of them. Some pinned with rusty nails, others taped, some curling from age. Every photo showed people. Campers, hikers, families, always in the woods, always outside. At first we thought maybe they were old hunting pictures, but then we noticed the colors. They weren't faded. Some looked brand new. I felt my throat tighten as I studied them, one by one. Then my friend swore under his breath. Pinned in the center, at eye level, was a photograph of 3 hikers. United States. We were standing in the exact spot we'd stopped for lunch earlier that day. The picture was sharp, like it had been taken only hours before. My stomach turned to ice. My legs locked in place. None of us spoke. None of us even breathed. And then, all at once, we bolted. We ran out of the cabin, through the clearing, and back onto the trail, sprinting faster than I thought I could move. We didn't stop until the road was in sight. We never reported it. We never told anyone else. But sometimes, when I hike, I catch myself glancing over my shoulder, half expecting to see someone there with a camera, watching from just beyond the trees. The screams in the woods. I grew up hunting with my uncle. He was a serious man, not one to scare easily, and he knew those woods better than anyone. So when we heard the scream, and I saw his face go pale, I knew something was wrong. It was sharp, piercing, almost human, the kind of sound that cuts straight into your chest. At first we thought maybe it was someone hurt, but then it came again and again, closer each time. The forest went dead silent between the cries. No birds, no wind, just silence. Then that awful scream. My uncle raised his rifle, scanning the trees. I gripped my pack, every instinct telling me to run. Then we saw it, a figure just at the edge of the tree line, human-shaped, still, watching. I shouted, "Hey, you okay?" The figure darted back into the shadows. A moment later, the screaming started again, but this time, it wasn't far away. It was circling us. The sound bounced through the trees, sometimes in front of us, sometimes behind, always closer than we wanted it to be. We backed away, step by step, never lowering our eyes from the tree line. Then we turned and walked as fast as we could. My heart hammered so hard, I thought my chest would burst. The screams followed almost all the way back to camp. That night, my uncle packed everything and left. He never hunted those woods again. Neither did I. And even now, years later, I still hear that sound in my dreams. I don't know if it was human. I don't know if it was something else. But I do know this. The forest didn't want us there. That's all for tonight. The woods will stay dark. The questions will stay unanswered. And maybe that's for the best. If you want more true horror, subscribe to No Sleep Tonight. And remember, don't watch alone.